She vanished at a 24/7 gas station, and the cameras glitched. Smash subscribe like you're slamming a deadbolt at 2 a.m. Comment if you'd have turned back, and like this to keep the dash cam rolling, because once you hear this, you won't drive nights the same way again. They called it the Blue Mile disappearance, because mile marker 241 on Route 19 throws a cold blue haze across the shoulder after midnight. Sodium lights from the only 24/7 station, Blue Mile Fuel Deli, bleed into the fog and make everything look washed and empty, like a hospital corridor after visiting hours. On June 12, 2019, Nurse Claire Duval left the night shift at St. Agnes and texted her sister she'd grab coffee and snacks for the drive home. She never arrived. State Trooper Ben Harrow was first on scene. Claire's Civic sat neat under a camera dome, doors locked, coffee paid for, receipt at 2:13 a.m. The cashier, a quiet kid named Eli Mercer, said she paced the cold aisle by the refrigerators, scrolling, waiting on a breakfast sandwich. Then she vanished between the deli counter and the door, a gap with no camera coverage. Harrow followed a pair of staggered tire marks from the far pump to the highway shoulder and lost them in gravel. The station's DVR glitched from 2:12 to 2:16. 4 missing minutes, exactly enough to steal a woman and a life. Back then, I was a crime reporter, not a voice people knew. 3 years later, the file was dust, the tips were weird, and the families had learned to live between birthdays. I returned to Blue Mile with a recorder, the kind that picks up things your head refuses. The air smelled like fryer oil and antifreeze. A cracked "We Card" sign flapped against the glass. Mercer was long gone, left town 2 weeks after the abduction. The new clerk, a woman with nicotine-stained fingers, watched me read the old flyers like I was trespassing on grief. Camera. The door chimed. No Claire. The deli printer spat a forgotten order, and somewhere a compressor exhaled like a tired animal. Maintenance door, I said. We need it open. Harrow exhaled a career's worth of permission and got a bolt cutter from the cruiser. The chain gave with a pop that felt obscene. The door peeled inward on its swollen frame, and a wave of cold rolled over our ankles. The space was narrow, concrete, and loud with machinery. A ladder dropped into a pit of shadow. On the wall, clipped to a nail, hung a laminated badge. J. Pike, Glenmark Refrigeration. The photo square was empty, but the lanyard smelled faintly of motor oil and spearmint. We climbed down. The air cooled our lungs. Harrow's beam caught a milk crate of odds and ends. Zip ties, disposable gloves, a roll of heavy plastic, a box of prepaid SIM cards still sealed. No blood, no gore, just choices arranged neatly for when a person decides another person is an object. My recorder clicked softly in my pocket, clocking each breath. At the end of the corridor sat an industrial walk-in. Steel door, inside handle removed. A keypad blinked dead red. Harrow stared at it, then at me. We never had this, he said. On the plans. Plans get rewritten by people who never file them, I said. We found the override, a simple circuit taped behind a conduit. Harrow flicked it, and the red eye went to green. The walk-in hissed. The seal unkissed the frame, and cold poured out so fast our skin prickled. Harrow pulled the door. I raised the mic, because sometimes truth sounds before it looks. From the darkness, something began to ring. Soft, muffled, and recent. A phone, vibrating against metal, playing the chime you set for a sister you always answer. The ringing came from a metal loaf pan on a wire shelf. A phone lay inside, screen spidered, still trying to glow. The contact name said, Mara, home, heart. Rowe lifted it with 2 fingers, like it might burn. The call died, then a flood of unread texts stacked over the lock screen. Where are you? You said 5 minutes. Claire? We swept the walk-in. No bodies, no stains, just the physics of fear. Condensation beating, a drain whispering, tape marks on the floor where something square had sat and was rolled away. In the corner, Neatly coiled was a tow strap. It smelled like damp canvas and diesel. Harrow photographed everything, then stepped back like he'd trespassed on a confession. "Whoever built this knew how to take people without noise," he said, "and how to return the room to zero." Above ground, dawn was still a rumor. We ran the Glenmark badge. The dispatch line spit out a script. No tech named Pike, no service call, no liability. When I mentioned the missing photo square, the rep stammered, then hung up. Harrow tried the local distributor. Different phone, same denial. I searched old business filings. J. Pike was a dissolved LLC tied to a P.O. box rented by a shell that owned, among other things, an unlisted property behind the Blue Mile, a corrugated warehouse with a freezer permit and no signage. We drove there with the sun scratching at the horizon. The gravel lot was scarred with fresh tracks. A padlock the size of a fist hung on a chain-link gate like a dare. Harrow radioed for a unit, then walked the fence line scanning through the diamonds. Inside, a single-box truck sat canted, rear roll-up closed, refrigeration unit ticking itself cool. On the side, in flaking vinyl, the ghost of a logo, Glen. Something, peeled off carefully so the silhouette remained, but the company didn't. The second unit hadn't arrived when the first change came. The Blue Mile clerk stopped answering. Dispatch said a patrol car swung by. The store was dark, the open sign unplugged, the counter empty. We turned back, the kind of U-teat urn that tastes like metal. The station looked smaller without customers, as if fear had pulled it inward. The maintenance door we'd cut stood open an inch. Cold breathed out lazily. Inside, the milk crate was gone. The SIM cards? Gone. The zip ties? Gone. In their place, a folded receipt from an hour earlier. Diesel, coffee, and a burner phone loaded at a kiosk. Cash. Customer name field blank. The DVR monitor upstairs now offered only a blue error box. No input. Harrow's jaw clenched until it whitened. Somebody was in the walls while we were on the fence line. We canvassed the ditch again and found new prints. 2 sets, crisscrossing the damp soil. Both in cheap, slip-resistant work shoes, the kind restaurant workers buy by the dozen. One set was small, maybe a woman's. They led to the highway shoulder, vanished in gravel, then reappeared by a turnout where trucks sleep. A rectangle of clean dust on the asphalt said something large had sat there recently and been driven away. I called Mara. She answered on the second ring, voice paper thin. She hadn't slept since Claire missed her call years ago. She called that dead phone every week. It never rang, she said. Until tonight. It rang and someone picked up. I could hear a compressor and shoes on concrete. I said Claire's name. A man said, "Wrong number," and hung up. We pulled traffic stops from June 12, 2019. Any vehicle near mile 241 within 30 minutes of 2:13 a.m., 1 ticket glowed. A white refrigerated box truck pulled over at 241 for a dead taillight. Citation signed by Trooper K. Denny. Harrow went quiet. Denny retired last year. She hated this case. We found Denny at her kitchen table with a mug and a stack of mail she didn't open. She remembered the stop. Driver license, Pike. First name John. Face bearded and average. Passenger, female. Head down, hoodie up. He said she was sick. Denny said. I told him to fix the light and let them go. I couldn't see her hands. Did you run the passenger? Harrow asked. Denny's eyes shone with something that refused to be called regret. No, we didn't have cause. Back at the warehouse gate, the second unit finally arrived. The rookie cut the lock with a tool that screamed in the morning air. We rolled the fence back and crossed into a yard that felt like a stage after the play leaves. Props gone, tape marks on the floor. The box truck sat humming. Harrow palmed the handle and lifted. The door ratcheted overhead. The box was empty, save for a single thing: a maintenance clipboard with carbon sheets for service calls. On the top page, spattered by condensation, an address was scribbled in thick pencil next to today's date. Not the warehouse, not the Blue Mile. A rural property 12 miles west, a farmhouse that, according to county records, had no electrical account, no owner on file, and no reason to be breathing. Harrow's radio cracked with static. Then a voice I didn't know said our names like a warning and a promise. "If you're hearing this," the voice said, "you're late." We reached the farmhouse just after noon, though the sky felt darker, as if clouds understood something we didn't. The road to the property was gravel and unmarked. No mailbox, no tire ruts except one set leading in and one set leading out. Whatever, or whoever was here had left recently, but not long enough for the ground to forget. The house was 2 stories, white paint peeled to bare wood, windows dark like eyes refusing to reflect light. No sound, no birds, no insects. Just the rumble of Harrow's breathing and the hum of the recorder in my pocket. The place felt active, but not loud. The kind of quiet that pays attention. The front door was locked, but the side entrance opened to Harrow's hand like it had been waiting for us. Inside, the air was cold. Too cold for a house without electricity. Every room had a portable refrigeration unit humming low, powered by silent battery packs stacked neatly, each pack labeled with H dates: June 2019, August 2020, November 2021. The timeline of women who had simply vanished along rural highways, rest stops, graveyard shift gas stations. Someone kept track. Someone came back. We searched slowly, carefully. The dining room table held a ledger, handwritten, columned, precise. Dates, locations, vehicle plates, notes in short, emotionless lines. Approaches alone. Waited 12 minutes. Cries quietly. No names, only observations, like logging inventory. A hallway led to a basement door. It was unlatched, not locked, which meant they were confident we wouldn't arrive in time. We descended. The basement was not a torture chamber. No blood, no restraints, no horrors you could point to. Just emptiness designed with intention. A mattress, a metal chair, a small fridge, a bucket of half-used toiletries, care items, enough to keep someone alive but disconnected from themselves. There was no sign of Claire. But on the cement floor near the wall, etched with something sharp, maybe a broken key or a chipped nail, was a message. I am still here. Not past tense, present, alive, or recently alive. Harrow swallowed hard. It was the first time I saw his composure crack. He stepped back, pressing his palm against his mouth like he was trying to keep something inside. We checked upstairs again, more urgently now. In one of the bedrooms, a closet door was slightly open. Inside, clothes hung neatly, brown jackets, faded jeans, hats, all identical to the silhouette captured on the cooler's reflection. A single hanger was empty, swinging lightly as if moved minutes ago. Then Harrow's radio clicked once. No static, no voice, just a click, a signal. Not from dispatch, from nearby. The back door slammed. Footsteps pounded across wood, fast, precise. Not panic, practice. We tore outside, but the field behind the house ran wide and flat toward the highway. A white refrigerated truck was already halfway down the access road, sunlight glinting off the half-peeled logo on the side. Not speeding, not fleeing, just leaving, the way someone leaves after finishing a shift. We chased, but gravel kicked up into a wall of dust, and by the time we reached the road, the truck was gone, absorbed into the endless horizon of American roadways that have swallowed thousands before and will swallow thousands more. No license plate, No visual ID, just that blank silhouette. That night, we sat in Harrow's cruiser behind the shuttered Blue Mile station. The neon sign flickered, struggling to stay lit. The case would reopen now. The warehouse, the farmhouse, records, inquiries, search parties, a task force, a press conference, procedures. But we both knew what those would produce. Time. And time is exactly what someone like that uses. Claire's phone remained in evidence. Her sister still calls it. Sometimes it goes straight to voicemail. Sometimes it rings twice. And sometimes, rarely, but it happens, someone answers. A man with a calm voice. No breathing, just the compressor hum behind him. And he always says the same thing. Wrong number. Then the line goes dead. If you think this story was intense, you're not ready for the next one. Hit subscribe before the lights flicker again.